Welcome back, Mama, or if you're just joining us today, welcome to our horizontal push-pull workout. So this will be a standing workout. If you are more comfortable seating, every single one of these movements can be done seated. So if you have balance issues, coordination issues, or just feeling a little tired and would rather sit, feel free to do so. This workout will be done with a resistance band. So we can do away with the dumbbells for today, and you're going to want a piece of resistance tubing with or without handles to go through this workout. Make sure you have that water nearby, have about 3 to 5 feet of space around you, and let's get right to it. All right, we're going to get right into it with a nice warm up. So reaching all the way up, we're going to very quickly lean it to the left, back to center, leaning it to the right. And let's drop those arms down into those arm circles, setting that intention for today, waking up this body. Switching direction, headed forward. All right, now opening up nice and wide. We're going to dynamically stretch out the chest. So opening up nice and wide, swinging those arms across. Just very gently opening up the anterior portion of our bodies. Perfect. Taking those hands, let's go ahead and lace them behind our backs. Create that space, chest stretch. Dropping it down. We're going to be working out our biceps and our triceps today. So let's go ahead and stretching out those shoulders and triceps, reaching up and over. Dropping it down, switching sides. Dropping it down. Let's step out nice and wide, opening up to the right, warrior one. Lengthening that back leg as we go. Nice torso twist. Switching sides to the left. Bring yourselves back to center. Left ear to left shoulder. Then we're going to bring our chin to our chest. Right ear to right shoulder. Perfect. Wiggle those knees around. Make sure we're not locking out those knees. And let's go ahead and grab those resistance bands. Meet me right back here on the mat to get things started. Welcome back, HMC, to our very first horizontal push-pull workout. This week's workout we're going to do with a band, so you're welcome to just set aside those dumbbells. This workout will also be done entirely standing, so we're going to make sure we have a soft bend in those knees. And if you're having kind of a weird balance day, experiencing some vertigo, sore feet, sore legs, sciatic pain, you are more than welcome to join me seated. There's only one modification that we'll need to do, and I'll walk you through that when the time comes. Now let's just go ahead checking in on our space. We're going to make sure we've got about 3 to 5 feet of space around us. We've got that water bottle nice and nearby, free of tripping hazards. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead. Feet about shoulder width apart, soft bend in those knees. Shoulders are back and down, and we're hugging baby up and in. Nice strong core, providing that stability in the presence of instability. All right, let's go ahead. Reaching right on up, breathing in. Fingers laced together, palms to the ceiling. Great big inhale. On the exhale, take it to the left. And I really want you to feel a nice opening in our latissimus dorsi, our lat muscles. Back to center, exhale to the right. I find my dominant hand locks up a little bit more, so this stretch might not feel as tricky as on the right side if you're right-handed. Inhale back to center. Let's exhale, drop it down into some arm circles. Making sure those shoulders are down away from our ears. We're not wearing our shoulders as earrings. Let's switch directions, going backwards. Just waking up, setting our intention for today. Arms are going to go right out nice and wide. Really drop those shoulders down and away. Drop those shoulders away from each other. Feel a gentle opening in our chests. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, find a door frame. Press that hand against it and press your body through. Bring ourselves back to center. Let's take that right hand, hug it across our bodies. And at no point do I want you to feel any pain during any of this. We don't want to bounce in our stretches. We don't want to feel any pain. Just a gentle lengthening. Stepping out, other arm. Perfect. Dropping it down, left ear, left shoulder. Dropping that nose down towards the floor. Back up to center, right ear, right shoulder. And then switching the angle, nose to the floor. All right, now that we're nice and warm, let's go ahead grabbing our bands. We're going to set ourselves up for our first movement, kind of going through it. So our feet are going to be shoulder width apart. We're going to seal those hands around our band, finding that comfy resistance. And we're going to go ahead just about chest height. Soft bend in those elbows. I want you to bring your pinkies to the wall behind you for a reverse fly. Pinky to wall behind you. You're welcome to do a staggered stance if this makes you feel more stable. But pulling those pinkies apart, resisting the band on the way back down. And really squeeze those scapula, those shoulder blades together. And keep those shoulders as far away from those ears as you can. Breathing throughout, making sure we're hugging baby up and in. We're going to pause this set, take a little mini rest. In 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, grab that water. If you're joining me seated, this movement is going to stay the exact same, but really making sure we're nice and proud, seated forward on our chair. Still hugging baby up and in, and just dropping it down as far as our chair, as our bodies will allow. 10 more seconds on that quick little rest there. Getting ourselves set up. If this was too easy, shrink that space between your hands. If it was a little tricky, you're not able to do it with proper form and safely, choke up a little bit. Provide yourself a little bit more slack. All right, thumbs towards each other, shoulder blades back and down, hands come apart, reverse fly. Don't mind me just whacking my plants. Perfect. And you should really feel it in our back, in our lats. You don't want to feel it up here in your traps. We want to make sure we're really isolating that movement in our pulling muscles. We're not letting those greedy traps take over. 2 and 1 30-second rest. Grabbing that water, stretching out what might feel funky. Give yourself a quick form check. If you have a mirror to the side of you, that's awesome. Make sure that posture is nice. Hugging baby up and in. And a soft bend in those knees. Never locking out our knees. Nice soft bend. All right. Meet me right here when you're ready. Thumbs towards each other, pinkies apart. Band is about chest height. Shoulder blades are back and down. Hugging baby up and in. Let's go ahead. Pinkies to the wall behind us. Reverse fly. Last set of these guys. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, shake it out. Take that water. We're going to have a 1-minute rest between sets here. I'll talk about the setup of our next one. We're going to go ahead, take our band, and we're going to tuck it right in like we're kind of a nerd in school. Our backpack is perfectly adjusted the way that all of our chiropractors wish it was. And we're going to bring those arms out, still soft bend in the elbow like a very swoopy W. Knuckles are facing towards our crown molding. Shoulder blades are back and down. And just like those cymbal monkey toys, we're going to hug ourselves in, squeezing as hard as we can with our pectoral muscles for a fly. So kind of doing exactly what we did, but in reverse. It's all about symmetry. So if we're doing one thing on one side, we want to do it on the other, making sure that we're not creating any muscular imbalances. So we're hugging those hands together, squeezing those pecs as hard as you can, and resisting the band on the way back. Think about all those strength gains we're getting from resisting on the eccentric. 2 and 1. Drop it down, hydrate or shake it out, 30-second break. Checking in, making sure we're drinking water as needed. If you need more than what I'm cueing you, feel free to take it. Hydration is key. All right, go ahead. We're going to bring that band back up and over. Tucking in those bands. Knuckles to crown molding. Checking in on that resistance. Are we able to do it safely? All right, bring it in. Fly it out. Is anyone doing this class on Monday? International Chest Day. Back in. Really squeezing. We're kind of not just flapping our wings around here. We're moving with intention. We're moving with purpose. 2 and 1. Drop it down. Shake it out. 30 seconds here. Grabbing that water. Testing that resistance. This workout can be done with dumbbells as well. So the motions are the same. We're just working with the dumbbell and not with a band. All right, bringing it back up and over. Tucking it right in. Elbows to the ground. Elbows to the ground, knuckles to the crown molding. Soft bend, shoulder blades back and down. One last time. Chest flies. Like we're giving the biggest hug of our lives. All right, HMC in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, shake it out. 1 minute rest while I introduce the next movement. You should be feeling things in your anterior deltoids, in those pecs by now. Next up, we're going to absolutely do a chest press. So bringing that band back up and over like a backpack. Finding that comfy resistance. You can use the handles if you'd like. I like to just grip the tubing. Really strong knuckles. Bring those elbows up to shoulder height, and we're going to punch our screens for a chest press. All the way out, all the way in. I'm finding this a little too easy, so I'm going to give myself less slack. 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, shake it out. If you find the setup a little bit tricky, a little bit cumbersome, you can just keep them tucked in there. That's totally fine. For those of us seated, same thing. Just making sure those chests are staying proud. We're not sinking into our chairs. All right, finding that comfy resistance. Bring yourselves back up. Hugging baby up and in. Shoulder blades back and down. Punching to our screen. And as always, we're resisting that band on the way back. We're squeezing the most strength gains out of every single inch of this movement. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. If you'd like, shake it out a little bit. We're feeling it right in those anterior deltoids, right in our pectorals, right in our biceps and triceps, our push muscles here. All right, one last time. Elbows up, shoulder blades back and down. Punch those screens for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out, drop it down. We're done with the push segment of today's exercises. Grab those waters. We're going to change our setup a little bit. Grab those waters. We're going to change our setup just a little bit here. So if you are standing, we're going to take that band and we're going to bring it right underneath the arch of our feet. Making sure it's nice and firm, nice and strong. We don't want a band coming up and smacking us in our face. I've had it happen. It's the worst. And we're going to go ahead, shoulder blades back and down, hugging baby up and in. Drop it into a deadlift. And from the deadlift position, we're going to bent over row. So like we're starting 2 lawnmowers. Come back up, and that is 1 rep. So we're going down, row, down, deadlift. And if you're doing this seated, I'm just going to have you pitch forward at a 45-degree angle and just row with us. All right, so let's try it out. Down, row, deadlift. Down, row, down, up. That's 1 rep. Really making sure we're squeezing those booties at the top of the movement. Who's ever been mad at an extra little bonus glute workout, hey? And 5, 4, 3, almost there, 2, and 1. That's 1 set right there. You can either walk away, grab that water, kind of hold your form, shake it out a little bit. Let's check in on where we're feeling that. I want you to feel it in those glutes and hamstrings and in our lats right in here and in those biceps as well. If we're feeling it in our traps, if we're feeling it in our lower backs, I would love for you to check in on that form. Make sure we're hugging baby up and in, and we're driving almost as if we're pushing the floor away from us as we're coming back up. All right, right back into it. Let's go ahead, setting ourselves up. Let's deadlift up, down, row, back up. Sometimes the mechanics of this can feel a little tricky. Don't be afraid to take your time. These initial first workouts are just about getting comfortable with some of our movements, the setup, and where we're feeling these fundamental human movements. And 2. Last 1, HMC. All right, we've got 1 more set of these. Give yourself a quick little rest. If you want a little bit more resistance on these, I just like to widen my stance. That's another option to create less slack for yourself. So if you like using the handles and you want more resistance, just widen that stance. And then we're going to fold down, row up, stand up. Deadlift to bent over row. I want a little bit more resistance, so I'm just going to grip the tubing again. So up, down, row, down. Hugging baby up and in, squeezing those booties. Making sure we're feeling it in our glutes, not in our lower backs. Two. And 1. Drop it down, shake it out. Grab that water. Give your body whatever it needs. We just have our final set. We just have a burnout. We're going to work on those biceps and triceps using a 1-minute AMRAP superset. So we're going to do 1 minute of bicep curls straight into 1 minute of tricep kickbacks. So because this is a little bit of a faster pace, I'll walk through the setup first. Bicep curls, we're going to take that band and place it again under either one or both of our arches. And we're going to go knuckles to shoulders. And that is 1 rep, making sure those shoulder blades are back and down. We're hugging baby up and in. And our tricep extensions, these ones are a little bit trickier. So I want you to take the band between your thumb and your first finger. And we're going to take that hand, hug it to the opposite shoulder, gripping halfway up the tubing with our other hand. And then it's like we're whacking someone with our pinky behind us, kind of like a horse kicking back. Extending, straightening that arm. That's our tricep extension. So now that we've got our setup out of the way, let's go ahead. 1 minute on the clock. And let's get it started. Bilateral bicep curls first. So we're going to do 30 seconds each side for our tricep extensions. All right, so we're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Knuckles to shoulders. Bicep curls. Hugging baby up and in. We're not arching our back here. I'm notorious for that, arching my back while I bicep curl. So make sure we're giving ourselves that stability. All the way up. all the way down. Halfway there, we're so close. Knuckles to shoulders, resisting the band on the way down. I might have given myself a little bit too much tension, but that's okay. 2 and 1, drop it down. Let's get ourselves set up for tricep extensions. Tucking under in, gripping halfway up the band, and we're shutting a door. We're kicking someone with our pinky. 30 seconds on the right side. Should really feel it right in that horseshoe, right in that muscle, right at the back of our arms. And the tricep is the secret. If you want those amazing, those Kelly Ripa, those Michelle Obama arms, it's all in the tricep. All right, and 2, 1, drop it down, switching sides. Left hand coming to right shoulder, gripping halfway up with the right hand. And we're kicking someone. Someone's standing too close behind us and we're just whacking them with our pinkies here. And 2, last one. 1, drop it down, shake it out. Grab that water. You're going to meet me right back here on the mat for a cool down. All right, we've made it to our cool down. Let's go ahead, stretch and lengthen out those working muscles. So first up, let's take those hands, lacing them behind our back, dropping shoulders down and away, creating that space, opening up those chests. So much of parenthood occurs out here, so we really want to make sure we're lengthening those muscles that might be contracted, might be engaged all day. Taking that right hand, hugging it across our bodies, stretching out that posterior deltoid. Let's go ahead, dropping that hand down, switching sides. Let's take that right hand going up and over. We're going to pat ourselves on the back. Stretching out those lats, stretching out those triceps. Dropping that arm down, switching sides. Perfect. Dropping it down. Let's go left ear, left shoulder. Making sure if those traps did take over at any point, we are lengthening them. Bring ourselves to center, right ear, right shoulder. Looking over our left shoulder. Switching sides over the right. Switching sides over the right. Perfect. Bring yourselves back to center because we did do those deadlifts. Let's take a nice deep wide stance, planting our back heel, lunging forward, hips are square. Rocking onto those back heels, leaning forward, stretching out the opposite hamstring. Back to center. Let's go ahead, switching sides. Left heel is back, planting it there. Hips are square, pressing forward. Hanging out here for 3 breaths. Rocking ourselves so we flex that back foot. Perfect. Standing up nice and straight. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a pat on the back. You've made it. This has been our very first horizontal push-pull workout. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great day.